to another CoopCast Internet show. My name is Jeff Kapp, and again, this week we have Joe Liska from New Canaan, Connecticut. Joe, welcome to the show again.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you. I enjoy talking about pigeons.
Well, Joe, our audience, actually this week we have a third special guest. We have a Oriental Frill that we brought onto the show this week, and we're going to ask Joe Liska to give us a few pointers on this specific Oriental Frill that I was able to obtain for the show. This is a blue lace?
A blue lace satin net.
Blue lace satin net, here we have.
Okay.
And we're going to let Joe show us the features of this bird, the pros and cons for this bird, I should say. So Joe, if you can explain anything about this bird right now that you're holding.
I will. One thing I want to make clear if this is a novice is that in Oriental Frills there are satinets and there are blondinets.
Okay.
A blondinet is all colored.
Okay.
Does not have a white body, does not have any white flights.
Okay.
It's just all the same. Ooh, it's laced throughout the body.
Okay.
Whereas satinet, all satinets have white bodies and white flights.
Okay.
Now this pigeon here, one of the faults it's got, of course, is the white feathers.
Okay.
It cannot have white feathers in the tail.
Okay.
It's got a white one on the end. It's got a white one in here. When you're showing a bird like this, you pull that out.
Okay.
Because you can't tell that it's missing.
Yes.
The end one, if the judge is judging and he counts them, he finds there's one missing.
He counts the tail feathers.
If there's anything missing, he
Okay.
assumed it's a bad one. That's why it's missing.
Okay.
Okay? Now.
So a good judge will count the tail feathers too.
Right.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because I've done that myself. I pull out a tail feather. They never count them.
Yeah.
But anyway, a satinette, as I say, has a white body. It should be white throughout, which this one is. This is always kind of a dark spot.
Okay, so
and
right underneath the
bird. You really can't
bird,
get that out of there.
right underneath the wing on the bird,
yeah,
there's a couple of dark spots here. Okay.
But the important
it should
thing
be pure white.
is the spot tail on a satinet. Although there are black lace satinets and dun lace satinets that don't have a spot tail.
Okay.
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 If it's brown, it's called a brunet, and it's just like a blue lace. Can be interchanged.
Okay.
If it's a dun lace, it shouldn't be interchanged with these. This is supposed to have 10 white flights, and this one does. You can tell by the way it bends. The last feather bends.
Okay.
It bends in that direction. If you count those, there's 10 there.
Okay.
Okay? And it's supposed to have 3 dark feathers. This has got an extra white feather here.
Okay.
Which is not a big fault, but it's not supposed to be that way.
Okay.
This side here, it's the same way. It's got a couple of white feathers.
Okay.
And it's also a little bit short. See, you see this feather the way it turns in that direction, and the others turn inward. This one turns outward, so you don't even have to count them. You know, this got 9 white feathers.
Okay.
This one has 10 white feathers because of the way the feathers are shaped.
Okay.
But the judge usually counts them anyway.
Okay.
He doesn't have to, but okay. The other thing is you want to get the head feature is very important. This has a very nice mane to it. See, it stands up. It doesn't have a break in it. A lot of them have breaks in them. A lot of them have their crest even lower than this. The crest should not be that low. That crest should be straight back.
Okay.
Okay? And in other words, it falls off a little bit.
Okay.
By the cap here.
So on this bird, the crest is too low?
It's a little low.
A little low on this bird.
Right, the judge usually doesn't care for that too much. He doesn't pay much attention because that's the way so many of them are.
Okay.
Doesn't make it right, but that's the way they're bred.
Okay.
It's got to have a frill.
Okay.
Okay, and that's called a frill.
Okay.
The feather turns out right here on the chest, and it's in a straight line.
Okay, so right in this area, there's the frill. We're going straight down right there. Okay.
Okay, it's not spread out too much, but it's spread out enough so you can see it. this pigeon has a very poor ground color, and I don't mean to be critical of it, but it's supposed to be blue and white, okay? You notice this has got kind of a grayish color throughout.
Okay.
It's not a clean white feather. If you pull one of the feathers out, it's not. Come on. It's
Okay.
It's got a different.
And I want to hold this
color
up
to
for the
it.
camera here, so that everyone watching can see exactly what Joe is talking about with the colors like that on the feathers.
You see, it shows in here. I didn't want to pull out one of the big feathers, but that's supposed to be all white.
Okay.
Okay.
So that should be all white.
That
now.
should be all white, and that cleans up the lacing. Then it gets nice, clean, pure white, pure lacing. And it's especially true up in here. You notice how clouded that is.
Yes.
That should be just blue and white.
Just blue.
Okay.
Now, how would a breeder try to clean this up with just getting the blue and white in there?
Well, that's where I went into the black lace, because it's only black and white.
Just black and white.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
So this bird might be able to be improved. It's young by putting it with a black lace, maybe.
Could be, yeah.
Could be.
But I mean, that's if you're into the business, into the used to training, so you know what you're looking for in a bird. You know, I wouldn't start out that way.
Okay.
You know, I'd start out as clean as I can get them.
Yep.
And then gradually work in that direction. If you want to get one pair, that's why I keep 6 pair.
Okay.
I'll take maybe 1 pair and fool around with it.
Gotcha.
And the rest I'll stay with improving. You can improve on it. I mean, you just pick the better ones out.
Yep.
And you don't keep these. Although this is a nice pigeon. Now the important thing in these pigeons is it's rolled over in the front. It's got the head has a contour to it that's it has a beak that lines up with the lower part, with the center of the eye.
Okay.
See the slope of the beak?
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Right. So it's got to be a downturned beak. It can't be a straight beak.
Okay, so the beak should go down a little.
Right. The beak should
not be straight.
Tilted down. It's supposed to line up between the beak, the eye, and the top of the crest. So you can see the crest is low.
That's how you can tell the crest is low, because you have to have that straight line.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
It should be all filled in back here, and it's not
Okay.
in this pigeon.
Okay.
Uh,
Now, is that something that could change if this was a young bird that was
No.
only a few months? No? Okay.
It's going to be that way.
So you're going to
It's all
notice that right away with your
right.
young. Okay.
Yeah. This has a very nice wide beak. The wide beak is a very critical part of the standard.
Okay.
That's what the judge looks for, is the beak. But he looks for the whole thing. But I mean, if it's not got a wide beak, you're going to throw it out. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's a major fault.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you want the wide beak for
The
sure.
wide
Okay.
beak, right? The wide
Okay.
beak and the rollover.
And the rollover.
You know, and hopefully the higher crest, but they're getting worse and worse on the crest. They're going down,
They
down,
keep going down, yeah.
Particularly on the blondinets. If you look at blondinets and you look at satinets, the blondinets, some of the crests are halfway down the back, and I cringe whenever I see that, because it's hard getting that crest up there, you know.
Yeah.
And that changes the whole appearance of the head.
Okay.
You know, because the head then isn't nice and long. It coils down and then it comes up again.
Okay.
And you don't want that. Basically, this is a very nice pigeon.
Okay.
It's something to work with, though. It's
something to
not
work
a
with.
show bird.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Because of the couple of faults it's got. I mean, you could show it.
You could show it.
Depends on the competition you're getting, you know.
Exactly.
If it's a big show.
So,
forget
for
it.
example, if you're going down to Louisville for the Young Bird Show,
Forget
if
it, yeah.
this bird wouldn't.
No, he
Okay.
wouldn't.
Or even if it was a
Place
Eastern
too
Oriental
well.
Frill Club meet for
Right.
old birds,
Yeah.
it wouldn't place too well.
Wouldn't do well.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
because it's not a show bird as such.
Okay.
Because of the major faults it's got.
Yeah.
And I say major faults. That's a major fault, the color.
The color's a major
The
fault.
color,
And now, the Oriental Frill goes by a point system
Yes.
when they do that. And do you know how many points the color might be?
Well, you know, I made up a big chart
Okay.
of a picture of a frill.
Mm-hmm.
And I pointed out each thing
Okay.
and how many points it's given in the standard.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave that to the judge
Okay.
to use. I said, take your top 3 birds when you're picking a champion.
Okay.
Use that to grade them, because this is the way they're supposedly qualified.
Yep.
I never could get a judge to use that. Never. I think Bob Johnson has the picture.
Okay.
I think I gave it
And
to
I believe that I've seen that picture, and it's a large picture that Bob Johnson may have
Right.
put it in a frame.
Right.
And actually, I believe Bob Johnson brings it down to the Reading Lancaster show in Pennsylvania every year.
I tried to get him to use that because that's the standard.
Yeah.
Today they're breeding birds much too big, too.
Okay.
They're much too big. They're supposed to be 9 inches tall.
Oh, okay.
And most of them are getting to be like
And that's-
turkeys because they got bigger heads.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So they look at the head and they don't look at the rest of the bird. I mean, the bird's out here, the
Yep.
head's here like this, you know?
So 9 inches tall from the bottom of the feet up to the top of the head.
Top of the head.
Okay.
Right.
And how about lengthwise?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Cobby bird.
Hobby bird. Okay.
Right, yeah. And you'll find today they're getting further and further away from the cobby bird.
Okay.
They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And these birds should be cobby,
They should
9
be
inches
bred
tall,
down right,
max.
in
Okay.
size.
Okay.
But they're out after the big head. And that's how you get a big head. You get a big bird, you get a turkey, and you put it,
Yeah.
you know. So that's one of the tricks of the trade.
Okay.
I used to argue with a guy 15 years ago. He raised bluettes.
Uh-huh.
He wanted to change the standard because his bluettes were big. They had big heads,
Yeah.
but they were big, you know.
Yeah.
And if you look at the cage, the judging cage, the bar in it, if the head extends past that bar in the judging cage, it's too tall. It shouldn't be that tall.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And the head should be, it should stand kind of proud like a fantail, not like a fantail, but,
okay.
you know, it shouldn't be a gawk stretched out. It should stand erect.
Well, that's good to know.
So its chest sticks out.
Okay.
Okay?
Is there anything else that you might want to quickly describe about this bird? We have about a minute left.
No, I think we hit all the spots on it. It's nice and clean underneath. It's
That's a plus.
It's a nice pigeon,
All right.
and it's a good one to work with. You know, it's got a good beak setting. Everything just needs to be cleaned up a little. It needs to get that white feather out of the tail. You know, and that's not that doesn't show up all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, it doesn't show up very much. You don't get many white tail feathers. in
So
these.
most likely the young may not produce a white tail.
Yeah,
something
right.
like that.
Right, exactly, right. And it's got nice white flights, which is tends to be a little hard to get. 10 by 10 is a hard thing to match up.
Okay.
Not that important. I mean, if it's just off by 1 feather, if it's off by 3 or 4, then it's important.
Yeah.
But a single feather, you don't give it much blame for that. But that's a nice headed pigeon.
Nice
Very
bird.
nice pigeon. Just got a low crest. That's basically what I'd find fault with the head on that pigeon, and then the markings.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Joe. Again, this was Jeff Cap from CoopCast. Again, with Joe Liska from New Canaan, Connecticut, and Joe giving us a little tips on breeding a Oriental Frill. Thank you, Joe, for coming on the show again.
It's got nice muffs too.
Nice
By the way, I forgot the muffs.
Okay.
But,
Well, thank you again for watching this week, and stay tuned for another show.